Gentlemen and ladies, it's showtime!
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Skullgirls Get Gr8. This is the audio test. We will be starting soon. Please let me know if any of the commentary this week... any of the commentators this week are a little too loud or a little too quiet. We want all of us to be about equally as loud, and the game should be just barely audible. If there are any recommendations that you would like to provide, please feel free to do so. We want the stream to be just perfect for you. Hey there, Fluff, DNA, Robot, good to see you here. Yo-Yo, glad you're showing off your fraudulent Bella. Sounds good, Yo-Yo says. That's good to hear. We're gonna go ahead and let one more match play. If anyone thinks that the audio from the game is drowning me out a little bit or making me hard to hear, then please let me know right away. I'll turn it down just a notch. Should be extremely quiet. That's kind of... I don't know. Maybe I can make it a little bit louder, but I don't want to risk it drowning me out, because I've noticed in some of the VODs I've been watching back, the audio does cut out some words. Kind of spooky. Gotta be a little bit careful, you know how it is. You know how it is. Game volume is like non-existent right now. That's 10 out of 10. That's what I want. Game should be just barely audible, dude. Also, what up, Kenji? It's been a minute. Not often I get to see you tuning in. This game is all audio cues. Yeah, but I don't need the audio cues as a spectator. If I'm providing commentary, why the hell do I need all the audio cues? Tell me how to not get my assist hit. Well, there's a lot of different things you can do. The main thing is after you call your assist, your character... Oh, well, okay, alright, let's rewind a little bit. The common mistake that people make is they try to use their assist as a way to extend their block stun, instead of the other way around. Commonly, what you should be using the assist is to cover your character, or... in which case your assist will get hit, but the other thing you can do with them is also set up a frame trap, basically. So there will be a gap in which your assist or you are not hitting your opponent. It's like right after you did a string or something. And then when the assist hits them, you immediately follow that up with an attack. If they are in block stun, your opponents cannot do anything. In fact, Peacock can't even drop an item. Even if she's already charging it, she can't even let go of it if she's still in block stun. So you have to turn it into a true block sting. How you do it? Hey there, Thugnificent. Good to see our bosses showing up, spectating the show, auditing the quality of the stream. We gotta bring that tag back. Which tag? PDCM? Which one was PDCM? I don't actually know what that means. How do you kill a Parasol with Philia? It's so annoying. That is true, and it's very hard. The key thing is that when you frame trap, if you stagger and do a few fancy things, you can basically do what's known as safe jumps. Penny's a bit of an expert on safe jumps, so I think you should talk to her about that more than anybody else. But basically, how you do it with Philia is you set up an attack so that you would fast fall and touch the ground, and you can start down backing if Parasol on the ground uses Pillar. If Parasol on the ground does not use Pillar, she's stuck blocking your pressure, and then you can loop. It basically means that Parasol cannot escape your pressure very easily without push blocking at a very precise window. And then you make multiple safe jump setups like that, and then you cycle through them, so it's kind of hard for the Parasol to figure out when to actually push block. Then it gets fancy. And in neutral, you have to be on the defensive. I mean, that's kind of universal for Parasol, right? Parasol isn't a reactionary character. She controls the pace of the game with tear shots, detonates, and what's it called? Disjointed normals. So it's really, really tricky. The Parasol pressure has to end at some point. Penny would disagree, but Penny also makes mistakes, as all Parasols do. So this would honestly be a lot easier if Penny was here. And Penny is supposed to be here. Well, Penny said she'd try. She said she makes no promises, but she's gonna try to be here. When we get to your match, if you fight a Parasol, I'll go into a little bit more detail. If you don't fight a Parasol, the best thing to do is at Penny in the Discord and go ahead and ask her. She'll tell you. How do you set up the dumb, stupid Parasol infinite pressure? Ask Penny. I still don't know how it works. I'm still learning Parasol BNBs. Once I figure out a Parasol BNB that's like consistent, I will try to learn that pressure and I'll get back to you on that. I'm not positive how it works right now. Most of it is reacting to your opponent's push block. Yeah, basically. Alright, after this match, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Skullgirls Get Gr8. What we do here is try to set you up against an even opponent. When you're fighting an even opponent, we try to give you constructive criticism on how to improve your play, but won't tell you everything that's wrong with your play, because, you know what, you're a human being, and human beings learn in steps. So we're going to tell you everything that you need to work on right now, the issues that are most glaring. We'll try to give you a bit of matchup knowledge, so it's really specific to the matchup of the person you're fighting, which of course will only occur in the intermediate bracket, because right now you got to focus on your fundamentals if you're in the beginner's bracket. We go live every Saturday, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, etc., and try to make it easier to transition into the Skullgirls community because, hey, we've been around for 7 years, and you know what? Sometimes you guys need a little bit of a welcoming person at the gate. We're like that dude at Costco who goes, "Welcome to Costco, I love you." Jumping 2MK in the corner against... Yeah, that's mean. Like how back in the day when Fuko was still an April Fool's joke, you could beat pretty much everybody by just kind of using jumping hard kick over and over and over again. They blocked it, turned into a dive kick, and let you do it again. If they didn't block it, and they got hit, then you could do it again. If you whiffed, that was the only time it was kind of dangerous, but then you were in like this awkward position where like most moves would whiff you anyway, so who cares? It's just annoying. None of that works at a moderately intermediate or high level, of course. This is the funny cheese strat. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I hope these two players do not ready up. That would be appreciated. First match of the evening? Whatever. First match tonight. Why does Parasol suck? She does not, actually. In fact, the only character you could even remotely say sucked was RoboFortune a hot minute ago, and that's not even true anymore. She's still pretty bad, but like... she's more than viable. Every character is viable. Parasol's still pretty legit. Nonetheless, digressing. Gonna go ahead and get Dry Eyes versus Banana up in here. Hopefully both these players are here. Let's see. Banana is Melderfish in chat. I don't see him in Twitch chat, but it's okay. Banana did manage to join, so it doesn't matter. Oh, hello. How are you doing today? Just a couple of quick notes just to minimize lag and all that other stuff. Reminder that please, if you are playing a fighting game online, please play on Ethernet. You may think your Wi-Fi is fantastic, you may not realize that your Wi-Fi is actually impacting your play, but it does, because no matter what you do, it's inherent to the infrastructure. Wi-Fi has packet drops. Play on Ethernet, pause the stream, make sure you set your GGPO appropriately. I recommend 1 per every 80 MMS ping, and you get the little pop-up. So divided by 80, and then that's how many 1, 2, 3 you should set. If you ever have to set it to 3 or higher, you probably shouldn't be fighting that opponent, but we do what we can. Hey there, Servon. Good to see you here. It's been a minute. Glad you could join us. Should you turn the stream off? Yeah, pause the stream. The VODs will go up after the stream, and that's when you should probably watch the commentary. And then we can, like, talk from there. Like, if you can DM me on Discord and be like, hey, you said this in the video at this timestamp. Why did you say that? Or could I have more details on that or whatever? And that's how we do it. Another quick note is that right after your set, Twitch actually uploads your VODs immediately. So, like, you can literally pause the stream right after your set, go back to, like, the Skullgirls Get Gr8 homepage of twitch.tv. Is that what they call it? I don't know. The dashboard or something. And you can see the latest VOD, and it'll show you the stream up to this point, which means you can watch the commentary on your set right after your set. It also has a live chat feed playback, and chat tends to give amazing commentary on its own, so that's pretty cool. Caught in neutral with Silver Cord. Silver Cord in neutral is very, very risky. Okay, you dashed under. I think you probably meant to trip guard there, but jump canceled out of there. Maybe you wanted to see how your opponent was going to react. That's okay so far. Alright, got a counter hit. Light, unfortunately, delayed the heavy too much. I do respect one thing from Dry Ice. Something you gotta be aware of that is that you seem to be waiting after the medium to make sure you did hit confirm, and then you're gonna use the heavy kick. You gotta make sure that turns into an instinct, so keep on practicing that. That is a good thing. You do need to press heavy kick faster, but you shouldn't be pressing heavy kick unless you know you're hitting your opponent. A-train at mid-screen. Nice conversion with standing light punch. Most people tend to convert with standing medium punch there. That's more of a character-specific thing. Those people running A-train assist is kind of fun. Yeah. Again, don't silver cord in neutral. There are ways you can make it work, but I don't recommend it. It's like a cheeky strat. It's not like a good thing. It's not a thing that I feel comfortable like literally telling you to use at all. Yeah. So jumping, if you guys, that Thugnificent, not Thugnificent. Thugnificent is super cool, but that is not the person I was trying to talk about. Banana was doing something really interesting, and I want Dry Eyes to take note of it. Is that he was running with his A-Train. He called A-Train and didn't just down back or hide or anything like that. He ran with it and then jumped up. So if you jumped up after him and tried to punish him for like trying to do a jumping leg kick at you, then you got caught by the A-Train. Notice how he uses A-Train to cover his own ass. That's a one very effective way assists should be used. So using assists like that is important. And the main reason I'm emphasizing that, Dry Eyes, is because this is the first time you've been here with an assist. You've never really played with assist before. You were always a solo band. Oh, got in with the jumping leg kick. Good A-Train. Gonna get the sliding knockdown. Do the wake-up grab to hit punish them. A couple of ways you can avoid grabs in this game, in terms of just core Skullgirls mechanics, is you can neutral jump. Neutral jumping is a little bit more risky because you're not blocking while you're jumping. You can just up back. You're not vulnerable while you're up backing. You are blocking though while you're up backing, so that's really effective and really useful. You can also tech grab always, obviously, right? If you're in block stun, you can actually push block or continue to be in block stun, and you'll avoid the grab. You can only be grabbed when you're not in any sort of stun state. Couple of other notes: you can only tech a grab if you are able to input grab yourself. For example, you cannot tech a grab while you're down backing. You can try it yourself. If you try to hold down back and press grab, no grab input will come out, which means it cannot tech while you're being grabbed if you're down backing. Another thing is if you're being counter hit, you can't grab, because obviously if you've got counter hit, you're in the startup of a move, and that means you would have not been able to input tech anyways, because grab wouldn't have come out. Servon shared a link, a resource regarding, I don't know, I'm assuming it's going to be about not silver cording and neutral, especially against brass, because that's exactly what Servon said. Based on that, go ahead and check out the link, chat's on screen, in case you guys are watching the VODs. Good pickup on that OTG. That is something you can only do in the corner. I'm glad you're aware about that, Dry Eyes. Kinda sad that you switched away from the duo. I think you should have kept on practicing, because that's what you gotta do here. Yeah, nice. At the end of the block string, if you do light A train and your opponent is not jumping, it is a command grab. Command grabs cannot be teched. The only thing you can do against those are jump. Or, you know, hit them out at the startup. But it's very rare that you can actually hit someone out at the startup of that. Especially after a standing hard kick. Standing hard kick does have a ton of block stun. Another common thing is, like, if he does notice that you are pressing anything out of that, you can E-break instead of doing light A train in terms of Dry Eyes. So that pressure is kind of scary. It is not the best pressure in the world, but they are options that your character has. And being aware of a lot of the options that your character has is going to be a fundamental step in improving. When's Wario? Wario's coming out as the 3rd DLC in Skullgirls 7. Oh, try to chip him out with level 3. I don't think that was actually your intention. Did we just start recently? I just got here. Yeah, we actually just started like 30 seconds ago. This is the second match of the first set. And don't worry, Dura, I got your message, so I put you at the end of the block anyway. Stream's cancelled. Frank speaks faster than I can type. Isn't that normal? Can't most people talk faster than someone can type? This is my speedrun. This is my Skullgirls speedrun, Mirage %, where it looks like a Skullgirls Get Gr8 stream is live, but we're actually offline. It's not 100% true in terms of like typing faster than you can talk, because ideally most people can type as fast as they can think. I kind of practiced until I could do that too. So like, yeah, technically on paper I can talk faster than I can type, but like I can't think faster than I can type. So I'd probably be getting my message out at roughly the same rate. Assuming I'm not using sophisticated terminology. That works. Okay, so a bit of a interesting thing in that DHC, you actually want to use the light heavy SBO, which is the SBO that comes right above you. If you do that, what ends up happening is the SBO will look like it missed, but as soon as you DHC into SSJ, SSJ will hit them, and then the SSJ will hit them into that SBO. And that'll let you convert afterwards, so you'll get a full combo after that. If you think your opponent is blocking, then you should, only in that situation do you really want to use the light medium SBO or the medium heavy SBO, and then SSJ. If you think your opponent is being hit, like you realize that you're going to reversal on their ass, then definitely SSJ into, or light heavy SBO into SSJ. There we go. A lot of S's. Don't get caught by a neutral silver cord. And don't, alright. Guys, so many weeks in a row. A good typing speed is like 60 words per minute. What? No, it's not. Average typing speed is like 60 words per minute. I type at like 90. Penny types at like 130. Yeah, 60 is average. I think the national average like 5 years ago was 40. No, avid readers can read 300 words a minute or something like that. Or maybe it was 600 words a minute is like an avid reader. I don't know how this works. You meant to e-break. Oh, okay. No worries then. E-break timing actually takes a little bit of time to build a muscle memory for, because you can e-break a lot longer than most people realize, and then also you can e-break a lot faster than a lot of people realize. That gradient is kind of hard to master. A bit of a small trick, this is kind of an advanced thing, like I don't recommend like doing this, but it might be good to build that muscle memory right away, is if you're holding like the opposite light before you input the heavy, like if you're going for, and it'll make more sense when I explain this afterwards, you get the shortest possible E-break. So if you're holding light punch and then you input A-train, then you'll get the shortest possible E-break. Same way if you're holding light kick and then you input heavy brass, you'll get the shortest possible E-break. Shouldn't you be E-breaking with A-train because it has more armor? That is correct. As of the grand beta of 2016 or 2017, I don't remember when it was, A-train has 3 hits of armor. Apparently it was always supposed to have 3 hits of armor, so that's kind of funny. Which also means heavy symbols does not break it. Also funny. MKMP, or HKMP, is the fastest E-break. How is it any different from HKLP? It's the exact same thing. So just say no dry eyes, you don't have to only hold forward to tech or anything. You like hold forward and punch. You could be teching a lot sooner. If you tech as soon as you touch the ground, you probably would have gotten that conversion with crouching medium punch. Of course, you didn't have OTG, so none of that mattered, but your opponent didn't get up anyways. I think there was some issue with assist coming out when you did HKLP. I don't think I've ever had that issue, but I'll look into that. You change your macros and stuff. Oh yeah, why don't I just use a macro? Whatever. I hate macros. This is not really a get great hot tip or anything like that, but I just absolutely despise macros unless it's an input that's physically impossible to do. You change your assist. Yeah, I mean, same difference. Okay, so Banana, I noticed you're having a little bit of trouble approaching on your opponent, especially with all these A-trains and reads coming out. So something you can do is actually, in Skullgirls, you can forward dash while blocking. So a shortcut input for forward dashing is pressing light punch and medium punch at the exact same time. I think it's actually technically any 2 punches, but it doesn't matter. So what you do is you input light punch, medium punch at the exact same time, and then immediately as you notice your character started moving, you start holding backwards. And then for that entire dash animation, you will be blocking. The reason this is important is now if he tries to A-train, it'll miss, and then you can do an attack. If he tries to do a heavy brass, then you'll block, and you'll still have gained some distance on your opponent. That'll help you get in on them a little bit more. There's lots and lots of movement options, and then also a lot of character-specific things that you can do to like get in on your opponent against different characters. It's very matchup-specific. So I don't want to focus on it too much, because right now I think I want you to focus on just getting more familiar with your characters in general. So that was 5 games. Thank you for playing. You guys are fantastic. It's well played. A big thing that I want you guys to remember is please, please, please go to the B&B Compendium, !B&B. If you type that in Twitch chat, it'll take you to a link where there are basic fundamental combos for every single character. Now, these aren't the best combos, and I'm not telling you to always use these combos, but please be able to input these combos. Please be familiar with these combos. And the reason I say that is because this will help you practice the fundamental links that are needed to be able to get good at your character. Now, I tell everyone to learn a B&B first, and it feels like work. It's like, oh, come on, I just want to play Skullgirls. I don't want to get in the lab and start doing B&Bs. But this is one of the most important things to do. The reason I say that is because it gets you more familiar with the options your character has. Obviously, being able to do a nice long combo is great because you can do a whole bunch of damage, but it's actually one of the least important things in fighting games in general. The more important thing is that your muscle memory starts building for your character. You start learning how the timing generally is. Your brain starts getting attuned to how your character should feel. So please, please, please learn a B&B. A good general rule of thumb of when you should be feeling confident in your B&B is if you can do it 10 times in a row against a dummy inside the lab. After that, you can try it against bots. And when you can do it 10 times in a row against bots, and like get consistently good at getting a hit confirmed, then you can start doing it against real people. But that's, of course, if you want to learn it like step by step. I actually just recommend like labbing for an hour, then playing online for an hour, then labbing for an hour, then playing online for an hour. Playing more than a couple hours a day is hard, but if you want to improve quickly, it's the best way to do it. At least make sure you're getting your weekly practice by joining us on Get Great all the time. I mean, we do go live every Saturday. We're always here for you guys, so make sure you're doing your practice. But now we're going to move on to our intermediate bracket. We're going to go ahead and start off our intermediate bracket with, of course, Robot versus Hydra. This should be an interesting matchup. This is Hydra's first time in intermediate bracket because I was actually really impressed with their ability to do their B&Bs with both Fuqua and Parasol, question mark? I think they have a B&B with Parasol. So this should be interesting. I think Hydra needs to work on their neutral a little bit, but the fundamentals are definitely there. Like, I liked what I saw when I was fighting him earlier today, and I also liked what I saw last week. So I think he's gonna do fine. We'll find out. Okay, try to use standing medium punch to hit their opponent just when they start approaching. That's a decent round start. Don't give your opponent too much space, and it's also not too aggressive. Fraudulent weaved in. Okay, so you went for a red burst bait there. I don't know what happens if they pop. If they pop, do you get hit in that situation? I don't know if that was a real burst bait. I want to confirm with you. I don't know if there's a little bit of lag or what, but it seems like you guys are stopping after just a couple of strings. Alright, we got a light counter hit. So at intermediate level, something you guys want to start working on is push or PBGC in general. I'm gonna put a link into chat about PBGC. If I can find it, hopefully. Yeah, there it is. So take a look at what PBGC is. I'll flash the chat on screen so you can view it whenever you need to. Push block guard cancel is what it stands for, and basically what it does is it basically starts getting you into the in-depth mechanics of how Skullgirls really works. So, push block guard cancel, what it does, it extends your push or your block stun for up to 25 frames flat. It's actually exactly 25 frames. At the end of 25 frames, doesn't matter what your opponent was hitting you with, you will not be in block stun anymore. Because of that, you can press whatever button you want and it'll come out. A common beginner mistake is PBGC get hit, where you push block, now suddenly you're not in block stun anymore and your opponent just presses a button and you get hit. But something you can do is that means you can like do updo out of it, which is like, you know, a reversal, so the entire startup is invulnerable. You can do PBGC into a super, that's a good way to get out of it. PBGC into pillar, PBGC into Gregor. These are tools that you'll see all the time. A good way to tell that you did it correctly is your character will flash this giant bold green in order to indicate that yes, you input your attack at the exact right time. And because of that, you got the fastest possible reversal out. Reason this is important is because I noticed you guys are blocking for a long time and not actually push blocking too often. But on top of that, it's also because you guys may not have a full understanding of how block stun really works and how mix-ups really work. You'll notice that when you're in block stun, your opponent can't grab you, your opponent can't do lots of things. You're obviously also, like, you know, you push your opponent away. There's also a right time to push block, guard cancel, and when not to, because the only time your opponent stops sliding back when you're push blocking is if they hit you with another move. So you'll know that, oh, okay, so only during multi-hit moves do I want to actually push block, guard cancel. But I want to push block if I'm just trying to build some space, only when my opponent's pressing a single hitting move. So you start paying a little bit more attention to your character. So starting to work on your PBGC is a good way to start like really improving where you are at the intermediate level. Yeah. So there we kind of saw Robot try to whip out a little bit of PBGC right there. Mistimed it just a little bit. Good tier pressure, try to make it safe. Mistimed the reflector. Please correct me if I'm wrong in chat, but I do believe you can reflect the explosion, like the actual pop. I don't actually pay attention to that. Okay, we have a DHC into Gregor, so this is not generally recommended. Yeah, I understand you want to get Bella out of there, and DHC is one of the best ways to do that, but you want to hit confirm first. The reason I say that is because Gregor is going to be 100% blockable, not just blockable, but your opponent can PBGC it, right? Because Gregor is a multi-hitting move. They can PBGC it, and then they can do a heavy counter hit. Because they'll have because they are able to press a button immediately after that, and they're not stuck because of the block stun. They can press a heavy button. They do a heavy button, they get a heavy counter hit because you did the super and it got blocked. So you'll actually end up killing your Philia more than actually saving your Bella. So be careful when you're DHCing. There's a right and wrong time to do it. Switching characters is tough. It's not something that's really simple in this game. You may have lots of ways to do it in this game, but that's each one of them has a very niche role. The actual deck can be reflected. Okay, so both the projectile and the detonation can both be reflected. That's fascinating. Makes sense, they're both projectiles. Couple of rolls. Talk to Yo-Yo, Hydra. I recommend it. Yo-Yo's going off in Twitch chat, so I'm sure he'll be able to help you route out some extra options that what Parasol can do. Penny has plenty of videos and materials out there. Penny, like, literally wrote the dictionary on how to use Parasol. Check it out. Alright, what's the round start? Okay, so you were a little bit more aggressive this time, Hydra. You expected your opponent to be a little bit more defensive, what's it called? Maybe neutral jump or like press a button right away and try to poke him out of the air right away. Robot, you did good just being patient, just trying to observe Parasol, see if she went forward or backwards, because now you know how your opponent adjusts. Being able to watch your opponent and take some notes on that at round start is extremely important. It's like the first step to really improving how you do on a matchup per matchup basis. Drill, poke, kill, set up tier on incoming, good timing. Mistimed the reflector, bad timing. You should probably work on the reflector timing. Just literally set up a bot to, like in lab, in case you guys are not familiar with how all the features that are available in the lab. Skullgirls is one of the best labs in the game, or in the industry, if not the best lab in the industry. You can set your opponent to play back a recording, and you can record them just doing like, what's it called? H shot or L shot or whatever, and then you can press select to have it play back that recording, and then after that you can practice reflecting it. I recommend it. Not sure of the best way to set it up. Reach out to anyone in the Skullgirls Get Gr8 Discord, any of the trainers. They can demonstrate to you, maybe give you a recorded video of how they would set it up. Alright. Hydra. 2 more games to go. Delaying buttons is fun though. It feels really cool when you pull off like delay button setups and stuff like that. It's like how after heavy Dragon Bite there's no buffer. You have to actually perfectly time your standing leg kick. Same thing after Liver Mortis, actually, right? Like, after the Liver Mortis, there's no buffer, so you have to, like, perfectly time your standing hard punch. Weird.
Gentlemen and ladies, it's
As opposed to Fuko, where you can just literally press buttons and everything comes out. No offense to Fuko players, but Fuko is one of the fastest characters to learn to B&B on. Probably the second fastest. Doubles B&B was even easier. Okay, so there was a gap there. Got hit by standing leg kick. Robot, you didn't get counter hit. You didn't get hit low when you were trying to block high or anything like that. I think you just stopped blocking. I think you were trying to just move forward or something like that. I'm not sure what you were doing. Reminder that block dashing is an option. I'm gonna assume Robot was block dashing all of those dashes. Mix. I don't know. I don't think that was a true unblockable setup. So or unmashable setup. So for those guys who do not know, against characters that don't have an air reversal, there are tools in this game called unmashable setups, where you reset them before they touch the ground. Because if Parasol touches the ground, she can obviously just pillar, right? Or she could do, or any other character could do a DP, or she could do like Bike Guy or something. I don't know if Bike Guy has vulnerable startup or not, but nonetheless, there are options that characters have that they can get out if they touch the ground. In that situation, Hydra, you should have been trying to pillar, and Robot, I would make sure you tighten up those links to make sure that it is actually an unmashable setup. Fuko is definitely the easiest character in the game. That is not what I'm saying. By no means do I say she's the hardest character, but she has some thinking she's got to do. Although a lot of the setups and everything have been already created for you, so at this point, if you want to learn her, it might be pretty easy. I like seeing the different approach options you try to use Robot to get in on Hydra. So Hydra, in that situation, I would say you need to start watching health bars more and meters more. You had all the meter in the world, and you know Bella can't really do a super from full screen or anything like that. Your Fireball super does like 900 damage in chip. It's really stupid. Now, while you need 1 or 2 meter, you always on hand, just so you can make sure you get a conversion off of stray hits, because you know, like off of certain throws or whatever, the only thing you can do is do a what's called BFF super. But nonetheless, in that situation, you probably could have chipped out your opponent significantly sooner if you just kind of used Fireball super a lot more. It's 900 and something chip damage, which is insane. It used to be 1100, it got nerfed. That's just chip damage, not even like on hit.
Gentlemen and ladies, it's showtime!
Alright, good tick throw there. So a couple of options you have against tick throws, especially if you see it coming. If you push block the light, that puts you into block stun. Reminder that you can't be grabbed while you're in block stun, so that's a common way to throw up tick throw setups, because your opponent would have to react to your push block and time their grab appropriately. Then also you can iframe any button out of there. Another thing you can do is, after you block the tick, you do a neutral hop. And a neutral hop I don't actually mind talking about, because this is the intermediate bracket. So I'm going to post a video on what neutral hopping is. It's not an end-all be-all solution to tick throws, but it is a very, very powerful option against tick throws. I highly recommend you are at least aware of why neutral hopping is so much better than up backing. I'm going to go ahead and flash the chat on screen in case you're watching the VOD. Yeah, it's always scary about 360. So if you're not doing a true combo or a true block string, then always be aware that of your opponent if they're push blocking or looking for an opportunity to squeeze out a 360. If they're just mashing 360, obviously, if they're not in blocks, then it's just going to come out. So if you realize that your block string is going to end, jump. That's a good way to get out of that situation specifically. Again, Hydra, you're on 5 meter. You can chip out your opponent, or you can just get a clean conversion. Nice kill. Level 3. Is that actually what she says? Does she, like, meta-wise literally say level 3? That's hilarious. Alright. Good set. Talked about plenty of fundamental things. I didn't talk about a lot of the more advanced things I usually like to talk about in intermediate, like a lot of frame data stuff, because honestly, I think you guys just need to be a little bit more intimate with the not so obvious mechanics of Skullgirls. Just before I talk about frame data, but otherwise I'll start talking about like frame data stuff probably next week. Robot, go to the lab and make sure you do your B&B 10 times before stream next time. Then, a common thing is that you always need a warm up right if you haven't played for a hot minute. And by hot minute, I literally mean like if you haven't played in like 3 hours. A good warm up is really, really important. So just going to the lab and like practicing this, like a little bit of set play or practicing B&B at 10 times or something like that. It's a good way to make sure you clean up your input so you don't drop so much when you actually play. Playing consistently does wonders for your input. Mega Missy Nose in here. Their opponent will be Fluff Fluff Fluff. Go ahead and enter Fluff Fluff Fluff. I'm gonna provide the link again in case you don't have it handy. You didn't know about neutral hops? You always up backed? That's why you got pooped on by lows? Exactly. Lows are one of the most powerful options in the game. That's why in Skullgirls there's like a universal law where if you're something to be qualified as a B&B uses 1 meter and starts with a crouching light kick. Because crouching light kick will be like 80% of your hit confirms. It's such a powerful move. It beats so many stupid things. On the other hand, though, as Ramen always says, there are only 2 defensive options in the game. You mash a super, or mash any reversal, really, or you up back. It beats. It's a 50-50 on whether you win or not. Sometimes that's all you need. That's like at least half a joke. While that definitely is somewhat true, there's a lot more to what we describe as defense in Skullgirls. Just saying. Oh, there's down backing and mashing. Wait, really? Oh, I was lied to. Someone corrected me, telling me that you always say it's up backing, not down backing. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was down backing and mashing. Okay. Someone isn't a true fan. It's true. Fraud has been exposed. So I'm just actually quietly watching because I want to. I mean, it's kind of tough to say much because this is Skullgirls. This is like pretty solid. So I think if you flesh stepped a little bit. Oh, okay. So Luger, when you're calling assist, might not be the best option just because you can't flesh step after Luger. If you are trying to poke with something like crouching hard punch, 8 anti-airs, and those anti-airs, and also like lock and load makes it safe and things like that. But on top of that, if either lock and load or your crouching hard punch hit, you can get a conversion, with flesh step and all sorts of fun stuff. Whereas if you do Luger, you can't cancel the flesh step, so that forces you to convert with a meter, and that usually means you're not going to get a clean conversion. We got mid screens. Let's go. That's spooky. So Fluff, in case you don't know, every character has a mid screen like that. It's for some characters, it's harder than others. Robot, I too recommend taking a break if you find this game is making you a little bit upset. In general, though, it's kind of an acquired skill. Learning to take your mind off of things when you're upset at a game, or forcing yourself to put down the controller and taking a breather, maybe go getting a drink of water or something like that, or just kind of controlling your nerves in general, especially if it's mid-set in a tournament or anything like that. It's an acquired skill. It's something you gotta practice. But at the same time, yes, I also recommend that if you find yourself getting angry at a game, you will not improve, and you will get more and more upset at yourself. You have to take a break. And that break might just be like 1 day, might be 3 days, might be a week, or if you're me, it might be a whole year. I don't recommend that one. Don't do that last one. Grab. Fluff, reminder, different ways to avoid grabs. You can be in blocks and with push blocks, like if you find yourself blocking successfully. Another thing is neutral hopping, up backing even. Reminder that you can only tech a throw when you are not down backing. There are also invulnerable options. In the case of Philia, updo is completely grab invulnerable. It's true invulnerability, so you can get out of grabs like that if you're mashing that on wake up. Otherwise, if you just try to respect your opponent too much, then they're going to take advantage of that and grab you because you're being too defensive. Now, a lot of times people say, well, Crank, don't you always say don't mash super all the time? It's like, absolutely, do not mash super. You don't want to do that. There are points you want to mash super because you want to make a statement. So mashing super is a common option that a lot of people use, but it's bad because it's easy to predict and punish. If your opponent's not respecting you, that means they're not predicting you're going to mash super. That means you can actually do that in that situation. You have to teach your opponent that you're willing to be crazy. Tick throws, reminder that if the opponent jabs you, push block it. Otherwise, you're gonna have to do some sort of invulnerable thing. All the other grab escape options will apply. Making him watch, that's mean. Don't do that. I mean, you can do that, doesn't matter. Not like it was BM or anything, but let's see. Another thing is, like, if you mash super to try and get out, like, if you just try to, like, even if you're just trying to scare your opponent, you can also always DHC. This is a good option. You play Philly at point. Reminder that if you block Gregor, your invulnerable reversal, or even DP super, you can always DHC into cat heads. Cat heads only cost 1 meter if you're DHCing into it instead of 2 meter, which makes it stupidly good. Cat heads is one of the best supers in the game. If you're playing double, that's like one of the best options you have. You gotta be a little bit more willing to be crazy. Because you can basically make it not crazy by turning it into something safe. Ticks, went into heavy, then frame trapped into a drill. I respect that. Reminder, in general though, you don't want to always go into a drill. If your opponent realizes that, oh, this guy always goes into drill, then you're kind of screwing yourself over, because your opponent can punish you really, really hard every time. You actually just want to end block strings on lights and mediums. At the highest level of play, you literally never have to go past the light. Good finish on that BNB. I respect that. Yeah, watch the Undizzy though. On incoming, you only get a couple of strings. If you're not familiar with the stages of what's it called? Undizzy build. You can only do 2 to 3 strings based on like your current situation. I don't think I have that link handy. If someone has a link to the different IPS stages, if they could share that in Twitch chat, I would highly appreciate that. That might be something that'd be worth looking into, Fluff. I'll block at the end here. Unblock. There we go! See, now, if you're a little bit more familiar with how mid-screen setups work, then you might have been able to pick up Parasol, because you could have, what's it called, backdash a few times, and then been ready to pick up off the wall bounce. And also, because your character always faces the point character is still Fortune, so you would have been able to keep on going forward with your infinite mid-screen. So in that situation, Fluff, you literally could have won. Like, you were a couple of inputs away from winning and a little bit of awareness on tech and practice. Like, that could have been your game. So notice how that mashing rewarded you, by the way, is what I'm trying to get at. At this point, reminder that you can mash once, you can mash twice, but be careful not to overcommit to mashing. Mashing is still dangerous. It's just you have to make sure you teach your opponent that you are willing to mash. Until your opponent stops doing setups that are vulnerable to mash, you are good to mash. But you have to that's kind of where the Yomi game comes in. You gotta try to understand your opponent when they would stop assuming that you're not willing to mash. Yeah, Training Wheels nailed it. If you're crazy, you'll mash. Do it! You're insane! A lot of friendly hop in there. Air grab is one of the best options in the game because there's only one way to avoid it, and that's by teching the air grab. It's one of the strongest tools that everyone has in this game. Don't be afraid to do it. If you're in the air, throwing out an air grab is totally okay. There's like only one character in the game that can like truly get out of it with a second option, and that's Pain Wheel. And how often do you see a Pain Wheel? Okay. So I think you need to start resetting a lot earlier, Fluff. So reminder how resets work. There's a lot of benefits to resetting, right? So when you start your combo over, not only does it undo all the scaling, so you get a whole bunch more damage, you also start building more meter, because the longer the combo goes on, your opponent builds more meter, and you build less meter. So not only do you start building more meter, you also deny your opponent some meter. On top of all of that, reminder that if the Undizzy Bar meter, or the Undizzy meter maxes out, then your combo is automatically scaled an additional 30%. And if sparks are coming out, that's even more. Or how does it work? It's like, if the undizzy meter is full, the scaling maxes out automatically, and if the sparks are coming out, it's an additional 30% on top of that. It's something like that. I forget how it works. You can make that safe with level 3? What? Really? I did not know that. Interesting. It's if the undizzy bar is full, it's scaled an additional 30%. If sparks are coming out, it automatically goes to minimal scaling or something like that. I gotta look this up. It's been a minute. Oh, to pillar into bikes instead of pillar into level 3. Oh, I thought you were talking about Philia. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Maxed out on green stuff. Got both characters. Do we got a double snap? Alright, learn a double snap. That's the most important homework thing I can tell you right now. Learn a double snap. That should have been a kill on Parasol. I don't know why you did that. You're crazy. I think you mistimed your incoming, in which case learn to buffer it. So, a couple of interesting things. Specials, even on whiff or on block, build meter. Same thing for normals. If you're under 1 meter and you have less meter than your opponent, if those two conditions are met, your normals will also do it. So learn to buffer incoming. Like, just know it's like, oh, okay, if I killed them, how much time do I have for them to come in? I have enough time to press 2 jabs and then a level 3. So if you press 2 jabs and then you do level 3, then you know exactly that they're going to be forced to respect your level 3. Hydra saying he's sending a message. Yeah. Another situation where Parasol should have died. Imagine how easy this would have been if Parasol was already dead and all you have to do is get that, like, 2 hits on Robo that you just got. Double snaps are incredibly crucial, Skullgirls. In any team fighter, actually. I don't think it's true in Dragon Ball Fighters, right? In Dragon Ball Fighters, you can't actually double snap. I don't think it's No, you can. You totally can. Who am I kidding? Yeah, double snaps are just always extremely important. Alright. Good games. Please make sure to check out the VODs. They will be going up as soon as the stream is done. And, it's important. I mean, as much as I want to say, like, that level 3 was bad, it was also just extremely funny. Because if I saw you just throw away 3 meter like that and I wasn't coming in, I'd be, like, scared shitless. I'd be like, what the fuck is this person's crazy? I don't know what they're doing anymore. Well played by both these players. I focused a lot on Fluff, because Missing No, you were playing really solid. Again, you need to be a little bit more aggressive. You always down back and wait a little bit, and then you press a button. You gotta stop trying to react and start imposing what you want to do. Start trying to control the pace of the game. Your team, and I've said this over and over and over again, can always control the pace of the game. Also, don't always just call Parasol out. That's another big one. If you want more comments on focusing on you, Missing No, remind me after the stream and Discord, and I'll rewatch your VODs and specifically give you comments on that, because I do feel like I was a little bit too focused on how Fluff was doing. Alright, so we got Dur versus Training Wheels, I think. What is Zest doing here? Who is this guy? Give me a hot second. Gonna make sure Zest understands else. Training rules versus Dur. You guys feel free to ready up now. Should be good to go. Hi there, Master.
There's some money all around me.
How's it going, Kenji?
Chilling, you know what I'm saying?
Nope. Turn you up.
Dude, I played Skullgirls for the first time in forever today, but I can still kind of play against Outlaw Spike, so it's okay.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I feel like he hasn't been playing a lot either, because he was just, like, really, like, hard defaulting to some bad habits.
I mean, he was playing, like, the last 2 or 3 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw him on Quick Match a few times.
Okay. Yeah, because, like, he 3-0'd my Fortune team, but then I was able to win a set with my, fucking affiliate team. Because, you know, it has A-Train and he can't not jump.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, he's playing solo, so, like, he has to jump, but... And he was actually doing a good job of just, like, down backing when, like, I was really obviously going to call the assist, like... But then, you know, I get to air dash at him as Philia, and that's never fun. But yeah, he was tapping into some of his worst habits.
Weren't you helping somebody learn though? Like I'm surprised this is the first time.
They don't care anymore. We're just gonna play Eunice and Dragon Ball.
Good idea. Starting off with the low. I think it was like a micro dash low.
Yeah, it was. I'm watching the stream, so I'm gonna be behind, obviously.
Okay. Not sure why you tried to do a pillar there, unless you expect your opponent to jump in after you. Even then, it was like a really early pillar, if that's what you were trying to expect.
It was also super weird because he pillared just as the combo dropped, so like that wasn't a reset point, and he just like happened to pillar there. That was fucking weird.
It's like pillar's not something you can mash either. It's not like you purposely use up your charge.
I mash pillar. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
You're crazy.
I'm in the game, spamming neutral, mashing my resets.
Interesting tier toss there. Good setup. Detonate to kill. Good stuff.
Yeah, I wonder how much these tiers do now with this ratio. Probably a decent chunk to like make zoning kind of viable. Except just double so you can't. Oh shit, heavy counter hit, you're dead.
Alright, so that was an unoptimized heavy counter hit combo. I recommend you start laughing.
I think that was still a counter hit combo though, wasn't it?
Was it?
I feel like there was an extra string. I wasn't paying attention, but I felt like there was an extra string there.
It felt like the last string did like 80 on Dizzy worth, which is fucked on. Like, I don't know. I recommend looking into heavy counter hit combos there, because you can definitely optimize that. Quick rule of thumb for optimizing combos, how you optimize things is try to squeeze out the most damage possible with 235 on Dizzy and 1 string left. Because that way, with only 5 on Dizzy left, you're doing your final string.
Yeah, but some characters just don't work like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really weird rule to go by, because, like, some characters just don't do, like, the right number of hits. Like, because sometimes people have different chains.
There's usually ways around it, but like it's sometimes like if they had 10 on Dizzy left, they actually end up doing more damage. That's like where the weird stuff comes in.
Yeah, there's like shit where they have like 20 left and it's more damage because like you can actually end a string in a special and then do another one.
Yeah.
It's like very rare that it's like you just have to like go on the hard and fast rule, like leave with 5.
Yeah, it's just rules of thumb. It's definitely not something that's like a concrete rule by any means. Like a good quick guideline. If you have 80 on Dizzy left at the end, then you're clearly fucking up. If you're using up all like 80 on Dizzy with their 1 final string at the end, it's probably not right.
Nah, I'm saving it for the next round.
Saving it for your college fund.
Yeah, dude, you gotta save the meter for the next round. Oh, good conversion. Because I was at the awkward spacing where tier wouldn't, or you couldn't have followed up after the second tier. See, I feel like this, since you're solo, like M egret, right? That's the shield egret. is like has so much more value because like then you get to like choose what they do as long as you can get Emigrid up safely, which you can as long as they're not within normal's distance. Because then like you're like in a zoning war, you'll just win due to your chip damage just being a lot higher, and like tiers typically being better than the gun. Like if it's just solo versus solo, the gun's better in like almost every other situation though. But like I feel like if you do that, then you get to like choose because Parasol typically has better normals than solo double. Yeah. So like just I feel like the ratio is just so much in your favor, and you get to use the ratio to dictate neutral then. Which is a very rare
really
thing.
Annoying to deal with. It's like that's exactly why, because Parasol in general controls the pace of a game a lot. Her disjointed normals are definitely something you gotta respect. And being you kind of nailed it with like the Emigrid. Like you get to control the zoning war really hard. If Double had more health, then she can put it into monster jail, and then things become a little bit more interesting.
Well, he couldn't necessarily do that. Like right now, I wouldn't recommend doing Emigrid because like even if he could get it up safely, like he'll just get rushed in on because like he's playing Parasol Slide, right? Like it doesn't matter. He's playing an assist, so like he could just tier back, have an assist, and at the very least the assist beats a tier and he gets to approach for free. It's only when you have either a really solid life lead or the ratios in that, or you have a little bit of a life lead but the ratios in your favor.
Okay.
Like it's a fairly specific situation. I feel like where it's like just straight up like the best idea to go for it. It's always something you should have in your back pocket, but at that point you're making a read on how much better you are than the other player at certain aspects of the game.
I think Training Wheels, you did something like extremely smart in that specific situation. I think you actually empty jumped and tried to bait up pillars so you can chicken block land cancel it. For those guys who are not familiar with chicken block land cancel, I'm going to quickly put in a link explaining it very quickly. I highly recommend looking into it because it's
if you're empty jumping, you're not chicken blocking though.
No, you chicken block land cancel the pillar reversal. He was baiting a pillar reversal is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, but that's not chicken blocking, that's what I'm saying. That's just land canceling.
Yeah, I guess it's true. It's the same concept though. It's the same math.
Chicken blocking is up banking.
Yeah, but it's the same math though, right? Where it's like you blocked a thing in the air.
It's the same idea, but the word chicken blocking is being used wrong there.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I take that back. It shouldn't be called chicken block land cancel. It's just land canceling your block stun. And I recommend looking at least at that video to help quickly understand what I mean when I say that. So, because if you were doing that deliberately, that's super good. If you weren't doing it deliberately, start doing it deliberately, because it's a good way to get a really strong punish on a lot of people's like reversals, especially when it's super tempting to do that.
Alice Val 42 Mot de Passe Servan Charlotte Twitter 42. No, that's a great tweet right there, my guy.
If you want me to delete it, do that.
What's the difference between chicken blocking and empty jumping? Empty jumping is jumping at your opponent, threatening to do a jump in, but not so that you can block instead of throwing out a move. Chicken blocking is literally like up backing.
Yeah, it's just sling for up backing. I guess I call it chicken block land canceling because I just associate it with well, chicken block land canceling. I just consider the name of that tag, even though that's definitely not accurate.
Yeah. I mean, like chicken blocking really means like jumping so that you don't like have to like block high or low.
Yeah.
But the reason it became really like synonymous with up backing was because in Marvel 3 there's no pre-block, so up backing was chicken blocking.
Marvel isn't up backing vulnerable though?
Marvel 3 I'm talking about, there's no pre-block in Marvel 3.
Okay.
I don't know about Marvel 2 because I never really played it, but Marvel Infinite added pre-block.
But I thought Jump Startup was vulnerable in both of those games, Marvel 3 and Marvel Infinite.
I don't know, I just remember that like chicken blocking like had to be like hard called out with an air grab in Marvel 3, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. How does one chicken block consistently? You just kind of hold up and back. It's really how it goes. The thing is, like, if your opponent realizes you're chicken blocking consistently, then they'll start going for lows because of how pre-block works. While your opponent is in startup for their low, you will be holding up and back, which means you'll get hit by the low. And because they're in startup of the low, you'll start to try and go into blocking, and you'll block in the wrong direction. Basically what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll play by both of you guys. So I guess to oversummarize, focus on taking advantage of your scaling. Also learn a heavy counter hit combo. Because I did.
Yeah, you got like
fantastic.
Yeah, you got like 4 jump in fierce counter hits, and like as combo starters, and I'm like, oh, they can just die for that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Training wheels. I think I would start focusing on. I mean, it's kind of hard to really point out now that the match is already over. But I think I would, based on the advice we're giving I think you should focus on trying to find more ways to keep your Persil alive, because it feels like your opponent would have an enormous advantage over you as soon as you are down to just your double, which means you're not really DHCing that much, you're not really making things safe. I mean, you have cat heads. Like, cat heads should make it sure it's always your turn. It's like one of the solo's worst nightmares. So, look at that kind of thing. Also, there's one other thing. Oh yeah, if you're getting heavy counter hit all the time, that means you're pressing buttons when it's not your turn. To oversimplify. Look back at those VODs, try to see why you were getting heavy counter hit, and focus on not pressing the buttons that got you heavy counter hit. Again. If you want me to watch your VODs and give you more commentary on that, just reach out to me on Discord. I'll see if I can try to find specific situational options on what you should have been doing.
Damn, how do you do DP into A-Train build charge on Squiggly? That's so hard.
Squiggly DP into A-Train build charge?
Yeah.
Emmy was a fucking god at it. Emmy, or Gex, whatever you want to call her. She was super consistent at that. That was just her B&B.
Yeah, I mean, that should be the B&B. If you get the first string confirm.
Yeah.
But, because, like, there's no... If you can build the charge, there's no downside to doing it, but...
Well, the hard part is getting DP into A-Train. Like, you have to call A-Train at, like, right after the medium, and then you...
No, you call it during the second hit of Fierce.
What? No way. That's way too late.
I'm doing it right now.
Oh shit. With M-A-Train or H-A-Train?
H-A-Train.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no. You call it pretty much one hit before you need it.
Huh.
But yeah, because of that, like I can't get the mid combo Saria cancels, which is annoying. So that I'm losing like 1,000 damage. Oh well, I don't play this game anymore.
I do know that you have to call it like right after the medium if you want to have Brass hit right in between the 2 hits of Standing Hard Punch, which is
yeah. But fucking like, cause I have this idea for a Squiggly team that might actually be like actually good, but I don't want to play enough to fucking like figure it out. Although I figured out like a 1 reset kill in the corner with Robo with this team, which is kind of cool.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Robo with who?
Squiggly and Big Band.
And how many meter?
1.
1 meter, 1 reset, really?
Yeah, it's with the HA train, of course.
Oh, okay.
And it's 3v3. It's 3v3 in the corner.
Oh, 3v3. Okay.
Yeah.
So...
But like you can do a grab reset with Robo and like kill someone, and it's like, well, shit.
Damn. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah, because you can do mind loops and preserve OTG.
Holy shit, mind loops. Those have been long dead.
Have they? I don't know. I just kind of I didn't really consult anything. I just kind of made it up by myself.
Huh.
Because you can build 2 heads and then still land the mine without using up OTG, which is cool.
Yeah, because PME went off about like why mines are just absolutely useless now ever since Mike Z made the changes to Beam. Not sure.
I don't know.
Either way, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for Skullgirls Get Gr8. If you are practicing, you would like to apply the skills that you are practicing, recommend tuning in for Skullgirls Be Great, a tournament open to everybody every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And as always, we do go live every Saturday at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, etc., etc. To help you improve your play, signups will be going up after the stream. The VODs will be going up after the stream. Check out your matches. If you have any questions, always join our Discord and ask. We're always there for you guys. Reach out to us. Love to help. Have a nice weekend. Later, everyone.